Welcome for a mathematics lesson. We're going to discuss mathematics paper 2, specifically commercial arithmetic, a question on taxation. The table below shows the tax rates in Kenya in the year 2022. We have the monthly income in Kenya shillings, and we have percentage rate of tax in each shilling. Therefore, the tax brackets are as shown. The rates are also as shown in percentage. We are told that in a certain month of that year, Mr. Shikuku earned a basic salary of 31,200 Kenya shillings, a house allowance of 12,000 Kenya shillings, a hardship allowance of 11,200 Kenya shillings, and a commuter allowance of 3,040 Kenya shillings. He was entitled to a personal tax relief of 1,056 Kenya shillings in that month. Mr. Shikuku also had a life assurance policy for which he paid a premium of 7,200 Kenya shillings and was entitled which entitled him to a further relief of 15% of the premium paid. Determine in Part A, Roman 1, Mr. Shikuku's taxable income in that month. Remember to subscribe to this channel and to also share this link with your friends. When we are calculating taxable income, it should be noted that taxable income is usually obtained by basic salary plus all allowances. Basic salary plus allowances. In this case, I'm going to take the basic salary, which is a 31,200 plus all allowances. A house allowance 12,000, a hardship allowance 11,200, and a commuter allowance 3,040. So the addition of these values will give us the taxable income of Mr. Shikuku for this particular month. 31,200 plus 12,000 plus 11,200 plus 3040. This is going to give us 57,440. 440. So this is the taxable income in Kenya shillings for Mr. Shikuku. The next part, we are calculating income tax paid. The income tax paid. Therefore, we're going to tax this amount. And as we can see, 57,440 is going to beyond 37. So we're going to tax in all the brackets. In the first bracket, 9860 at the rate of 10. So in the first bracket, 9860 at the rate of 10%, this is going to give us 986. That is from the first bracket. Then in the second bracket, now we're going to take 18,700 and we subtract the value just above. So 18,700, we subtract 9860. This is going to give us 8840. So 8840, this is going to lie in the second bracket. 8840 at the rate of 15, percent. This is going to give us a tax of 1326 Kenya shillings. In the third bracket, we're going to tax 27,820, and we subtract the previous limit, which is 18,700. We're going to get 91,20. So in the third bracket, we are taxing 91,20 at the rate of 20%. This is going to give us 1824 Kenya shillings. Now, in the fourth bracket, we're going to tax. When we take 37,140, then we subtract the previous limit, which is 27,820. I'm going to get 93,20. So in the fourth bracket, I'm having 93,20, and I tax it at the rate of 25%. So I'm going to get a tax of 2330. Then finally now, in the fifth bracket, we have taxed up to 37,140, but now our taxable income is 57,440. That means the remaining amount which has not been taxed now goes to the last bracket. So we will take our total taxable income and we subtract the limit just before the last bracket. So when we take 57,440, we subtract 37,140. That gives us 20,300. So in the fifth and the last bracket, we are taxing 20,300 at the rate of 30%. So at the rate of 30%, this is going to give us 6,090. So remember, to get the last bracket's taxable income, we are taking the total tax 57,440, and we subtract the upper limit here, 37,140. So whatever now remains is being taxed at the rate of 30, and that is 2,300. So now we can get this value here when we add all the taxes. Going to add all these values. This is called the gross tax. 986 plus 1326 plus 1824 plus 2330 plus 1690. This is giving us 12,556. 12,556. This is called the gross tax, or the tax that Mr. Shikuku would have paid if it were not for the reliefs. But now this guy gets 2 reliefs. So now for us to get the tax paid, or rather the net tax now, because that is what we want, we need to get gross tax minus relief. Gross tax minus relief. So a gross tax of 12,556 minus the reliefs are 2. We are told that Mr. Shikuku, he was entitled to a personal tax relief of 1056. So there is the first relief of 1056, then another relief now due to premiums in a life assurance policy. So we are told that Mr. Shikuku also had a life assurance policy for which he paid a premium of 7,200. and which entitled him to a further relief of 15% of the premium paid. So 15% of 7200 is another relief. So the value of that relief, so that we may add it here, is 15% of 7200. 15% of 7200 is going to be 1080. So we have another tax of 1080. We have two reliefs now. 15% of premiums making 1080 and the personal tax relief 1056. So now the net tax, or rather payable tax, for Mr. Shikuku is going to be, when we take 12,556 minus 1056 plus 1080, we're going to get 10,420. 10,420. These are Kenya shillings. So this is the tax. This is the tax which will be paid by Mr. Shikuku. We have another question in part B, in the final part, which says, apart from the income tax, Mr. Shikuku paid the following from his salary: cooperative loan 16,000, WCPS 2% of his basic salary, NHIF 2,240. Calculate his net monthly salary. So what we do here, for us to get net salary, I'm going to give you the formula. This is given by taxable income minus, actually it should be gross income, but let us first of all handle it as taxable income minus all deductions. All deductions. Now for Mr. Shikuku, there is a taxable income of 57440 minus all deductions. Now I want to begin with the first major deductions. Before these other payments given here, there are other deductions we read earlier, and they should be captured. Then we come to these last statements. There is, first of all, a payee, or rather a tax of 10,420. So 10,420. There is also premiums which he pays. That is a deduction. 7,200. That one was captured in the information up there. So if you are not careful, a student is going to skip it. Then we are having other deductions now. Other deductions are things like a cooperative loan, 16,000. We are also having WCPS, 2% of basic salary. So let me calculate that figure. 2% of a basic salary of 31,200. 2% of 31,200. 2% of 31,200 is going to be 624. 624. That is the 2% of basic salary. It becomes 624. So I've transferred it here. We are also having another deduction to NHIF, 2240. 2240. So now we can carry out this calculation using our calculator. We are having 57440 minus the first deduction 10,420, another one of 7,200, another one of 16,000, another one of 624, and finally 2240. So this is going to be 20,956 Kenya shillings. So this is going to be the net salary at the end of it all.